Hi, this is Cousin Russ. Uh, I had a blog post the other day about using color coding, and a question was asked, how do I use color coding if I want to find uh, ancestors who might have served in the Civil War? Now, I did a response to the user for that, but I thought I would go ahead and do a blog post on how I did it and what I discovered when I actually did what I suggested in my response to the blog post. So we're going to talk about color coding and identifying my direct line people who might have a Civil War record. So I'm going to go over to Family Tree Maker, and there is my uh, file that's open with a color coding. The important thing is the color coding down at my grandparents' level. You see that each grandparent has a different color. I have 4 colors turned on. So I know when I see in the index over here on the left, I can see what ancestor or which grandparent they come from. There's too many people in that list, like 9,366 people, and I don't want to scroll up and down. So I want to limit the people in the index, and I'm going to use the filter feature to do that. So I'm going to bring up the filter feature, and I looks like I had been doing something before, so I'm going to clear the right-hand column because I don't want everybody, and I don't want whatever that list was before. So I clear it by clicking on exclude all. Now I'm going to filter in. I'm going to filter in anybody whose birth date is after 1811, because that was the birth date that was for Civil War records, 1811. And I'm going to include alternate facts because I have many records that have alternate facts. So I'm going to just use anybody whose birth year is after 1811 and click OK. So I went from 9,000 people down to 2,000 people. That's people. Too many. So now I want to filter out anybody who was born after 1848, because again, that was the uh, requirements for the Civil War, 1848. And again, I'm going to include alternate facts. And now I'm down to 683. Still too much because I have 2 things I've forgotten. I want to filter out any females. Female or sex equals female. I want to exclude the females. So I'm down now to 337. But what if I had people who died before the Civil War? So I'm going to select death date is before 1861, when the Civil War started. So I am now down to 263 people in my 9,000 person database who may have a Civil War record, and I'm going to apply that filter. So I just did the filter feature to set my requirements for who I want to see in my list. So now if I stroll down through the list, I don't see any dots yet. Oh, there's a dot. Now what's important here is that I know that that is my grandmother's, my paternal grandmother's line, who may have a Civil War record. And I'll just go scroll down a little bit more. There's a red one, which would have been my maternal grandfather's line. There's another couple more red ones and a blue one, which would have been my paternal grandfather's line. And you will notice that I have none of my maternal grandmother in this line, and that's because I don't go back very far on that line. So I'm comfortable, but those are the only my direct line people who may have a Civil War record. So let's take a look at this first one. Daniel James, I'm going to go from the tree view to the person view, and I don't see anything. I haven't found anything already. It doesn't look like that he served in the Civil War or that I have a record for him. So he's a good potential that I could look for. Now, I could add a color code for him, but this is a one-time deal that I want to work on for a little while. So that is, I know that he is one person that I might want to look to see if he has a record. Oh, there's a shaky leaf hint. And there's 3 hints from Ancestry. So we'll just take a quick look to see if there is one. And there are no Civil War records in that hit list. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit further because I want to get to this guy. And he is my second great grandfather. And I'm going to look to see if I've already found something for him. And I don't see any military records that I have. But what I do see is that he was a Quaker. So maybe that is why I haven't found a Civil War record for him to date. So he's another one I may want to look for, but I'm not going to be disappointed, I don't think, if I don't find one, but we'll come back to him later. So I'm going to go to the next one down here. That's Samuel. Samuel was his son. I'm going to go to the person workspace, the person tab, and he in fact did serve in the Civil War, and I've already documented he being in the Civil War. So he is a Civil War soldier that I've already had a record for. Again, there's a lot of things I could do on this, like put it on a task list, but I'm just showing you what I am finding with the task at hand is using color codes and see who might have served in the Civil War. Now I'm going to go up to these 2 red guys, which was my maternal grandfather's line. So I'm going to select him, and I see that I don't have any military records on him yet, but I'm going to select this answer. I'm going to select the hint because he may have, and there it is. There's a record in the 1890. How about that? 1890 census in the veteran schedule. So he, in fact, has a record that I will go look for. So there is a 1890 veteran schedule for Joseph. So I would then work on him. I'm not going to do that. I just want to show the feature of showing I focus on just my direct line, which is why I have the color code turned on. I don't want to look at the other 260 some odd people. I just want to look at my direct line. Now I can do a lot of things from that. I can do a to-do list. In fact, I'm going to put on Joseph, I'm going to put a task list and I'm going to say new 1890 veterans schedule. And I'm going to put it in a category called follow-up. and click OK. So now on my to-do list for him, I will go look for his military record, Civil War record. So that is color coding using the filter feature, but color coding, finding my Civil War soldiers. Hope that helps. Have a great day.